So we can call it to order if you'd like.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the Newington Affordable Housing Monitoring Agency special meeting, January 22nd at 5:35 p.m.
All right, I'll do the roll call. So let's see, we got member Cresswell Morales is currently excused. Member Nafis,
Yes, here.
member Nagel,
Here.
member Stam is currently excused, and member Woods.
Here.
We have a quorum, 3 out of 5.
Okay. The next item is election of officers. I would suggest tabling it.
Okay, yeah, so the one reason why, and actually this was in consult with the town attorney, because someone does need to sign the notice.
Oh,
And
you know
yeah.
what? I can do it, Don.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You want to be chair?
I'm in town for like 2 weeks more and then I'm out of here too, but I can do it for now.
Okay,
This
yeah,
one.
the idea would be they could hopefully close next week on this, get the updated documents to us and get the thing filed so they can move on with their lives.
Okay.
Okay, so so how the normal election of officers, I would actually kind of run that.
Okay.
So what you do is I call for a nomination from the floor, someone nominates, the person who is nominated accepts, and then I call for any other nominations. If there are none, nominations are closed, and then we take a vote on it. So we can go through and then table, we'll start with chairperson. So I'll call for any nominations for chairperson.
Okay. I'd like to nominate Sandy Nafis for chairperson.
And Sandy, do you accept?
Yeah, yes. Did you need to have a second on that?
I second it.
Okay, yes.
Yep. I think technically Robert's rules doesn't necessarily, but it's just like adjournment. You don't
Okay, yeah, I don't.
But yeah, there's argument. So yes, we got the motion, and we got a nomination, a second, it's been accepted. Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. So the vote is for Chair Nafis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous.
It's all yours, Sandy.
Okay, now what?
Okay, so at the next meeting, you would be calling it to order, and now you are the first authorized signatory when we sign off on that, the notice. So that notice that needs to be signed off to put in that. So does anyone want to be, do we want to proceed to vice chair? Would anyone like to be vice chair?
I'll be vice chair.
Okay,
I'll
so
second it.
since, so I'll go back forth. So yeah, that was call for nominations. So I'd say that member Nagel, so you have nominated yourself, which you can do. Seconded by member Woods. Obviously you accept because you nominated. Any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. All in favor of Vice Chair Nagel?
Aye.
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 Okay, so we got a vice chair. Do we want to continue to secretary or table it? It'd be the third in line to sign.
Can
I'll
we?
nominate Chip Stam.
So
He's not here.
probably table it.
We should probably table it.
Yep. Well, okay, so that concludes that, and thank you very much for that, and that will enable us to continue to process the paperwork. The secretary will be tabled. So I'll call for a motion to table the nomination of the secretary.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now that's my section of the thing that I run. So now we move into the new business. So this is the notice of transfer for 53 Hopkins Drive. And what I'll do is I share. Let me.
Jersey Piers Creek, Mountain Dodge Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and Silver Shoes. Problem here, apples, units, Russia produced ads and
Now my computer's fighting me.
Call Rockland Capital today, 800-630-8900, 800-630-8900, that's 800-630-8900. Gary, he's got it.
Sorry about the delay.
I'll show you a better way. You're fine. I said there we have all these cars fit in that, but there's no need to shop here. Showing car off, knowing how far it's taxes to it, back price, and you will have to overpay. Well, there, sure. So you got about all about
So what I'll do is just kind of put this up there. It'll be part of the meeting itself, but the owner of 53 Hopkins Drive has filed the notice of transfer. I sent along that notice of transfer to the committee and or to the agency, and I can bring that up too. So those of you who are familiar, I know hasn't met in a while. So this is subject, the Hopkins Village, aka Hopkins Drive, is subject to an affordable housing restrictive covenants that were part of their development. There are certain affordability criteria and sales criteria that are part of that deed and covenants that require the Affordable Housing Monitoring Agency to confirm and approve of that notice of transfer. So staff has kind of put together some information for the agency. So the last time this property was sold was in 1999. The purchase price was $116,900. That purchase price wasn't originally shown on the deed itself. I believe it said for $10 and other consideration. In working with the town clerk, we were able to go back and look at the conveyance taxes that were in place at that time and determine that price. That price is also listed on the assessor's information. So there's two corroborating points for the sale price. I've reviewed this and the way it was calculated with the town attorney, and he is perfectly fine with the calculation for this sales price. So item one, again, the period of 2 years, since it was 1999, it is not applicable to this sale. So item two, which is the income of the purchaser. So I did not include, of course, the tax returns, as those have PII on them. We don't want socials and everything out, but I did kind of give you a overview of those, what the tax returns are. The key thing is the CHFA income limits in Newington right now are $122,300 for a CHFA mortgage. This is based on either it calls out specifically either the income limits area that's set by CHFA, or if such limits no longer exist, 115,000. They do exist, so we use those just as a point of reference. The 115% would put us at 115,000. Either way, that this owner does comply with those requirements. Again, the tax returns in 2023 showed 57,153, 2020, 30,900, 2021, 29,657. This is adjusted gross income, and the total income was not much different either. So we are confident with those numbers as provided, and the pay stub they did submit for the period ending 12/20/24, because we know 2024 taxes, only the ultra ambitious have theirs even going right now or done. They won't be done for a little while, but that total on the pay stub, again, with only really 1 work week left or 2 work weeks left in the year, totaled $62,389. So that is still underneath the $122,000. So if you have any questions on that, but I've reviewed this with the town attorney. There's one condition that he recommended. Again, it's reviewing this again. David Griffith is our town attorney for land use matters, and he would like a second affidavit because they provided the affidavit that is included in the information I sent along from the purchaser. But a second one that again confirms at the time of closing, it's a document that we would provide to the seller. So they would have it there. We don't want to increase their legal bills by making them create new documents as part of a closing. So they'll be sent this. It's just a confirmation. as part of it, at the time of closing, that they would sign off on that, and that has been requested by the town attorney. So the third item, if there's no questions on income, the third item is the sale price, for the lot, for the house. So this is a calculation that an owner of a lot shall not sell their lot for a price that exceeds the purchase price that they paid, plus 1/2 of the difference between the price they paid and the current appraised value. So it's basically, if you consider it like that, you get ultimately half the equity out of the property. It maintains its affordability. And this purchase price, again, with the purchase 1999 of 116,900, an appraisal of 405,000, which was included. And again, sorry for the late provision of that document, as everything rolls in. But in that appraisal was 405,000. If you minus those, the difference is 288. You add half of that, which is the 144.50, to the sales price, and we get a sales price restricted at 260,950. So the seller has submitted a copy of their purchase and sales contract showing $260,000 as a sale. They've submitted their closing disclosures, which will be updated at the time of sale. And this is again another item that the town attorney is requesting to be reviewed prior to the final signature and recording of the notice of transfer. So he's requested that that be confirmed, and they just provide us their final documents they'll have to do anyway as part of the sale. But just so we know that nothing changed during the process and that was sold for what the requirements are. So again, we have those 3 points of different cooperation with the draft warranty deed that they also provided showing 260, the disclosures showing 260, and the purchase and sale showing 260. So I think that they provided sufficient documentation to show that the intent is 260, $950 below the required sale price, leaves just a tiny bit of wiggle room for final closing items, but not too much. So that is why the town attorney has requested those documents. And again, prior to closing, so those are the 3 requirements, and this is the requirement of the commission. They'll give notice, which they have to this agency, that they verified that 1, 2, and 3, the items discussed above, that the sale will comply with those. They provided to us. And there is one item on there, a minor correction, where the notary wrote their own name in the section that said personally appeared. So again, in talking with the town attorney, he's just requested that to be updated, to be, proper, because it is, a small defect. A lot of deeds and a lot of legal documents, I've seen this happen, and they do get recorded. But our town attorney is pretty thorough. In a good way, as far as documents goes, and just wants to make sure that everything is a clean document when recorded. So those are the items I do have, and what I'll do is I'll also bring up that notice of transfer. So this was an update. The original notice of transfer had some defects on it, a few on it, and they provided us an updated one. And this was included. This. Yeah, they updated Zoom and the bars move around and everything happens now. So for those who haven't seen one in a while, again, this was included in the packet or in the information that was sent out last night to the committee, to the agency. But this is something we received. It was signed actually on the 19th. Again, they confirm this is actually a standard document that's sent out from the town that exists, where they just fill in the information. This has been reviewed by the town attorney. They have confirmed that sections 1, 2, and 3 of the first paragraph of the declaration, that the sale will comply with it. And they signed it, the owner, on the 19th. And again, this is the only minor defect of the notary should have put Maria's name in that location. So other than that, this document is good, and we've just requested that minor change to the last page before it's recorded. So that's the kind of gist of it without going into every single document, but we did get a good amount of paperwork. Again, it filtered in over the course. We received this on the 8th, and we received the last batch of documents actually on the 19th, a couple updated ones. So we've been moving forward, or I should say it was signed on the 19th, and actually I believe we received them yesterday of those items, because yes, we were closed for Monday. So we received them yesterday, sent them out, reviewed with the town attorney. As I noted, we actually had a conversation today. And are there any questions on any of the documentation that's been provided? Any concerns? And I'll pause right there.
I just
No,
have a question. When does Gina's license expire? I can't see that on here.
Yep, I will scroll down.
'25, the end of this year, looks like.
Okay.
Yep, end of this year locally, so.
Hmm. Yeah, I know I just renewed, so my question.
Yeah, and it gets tricky with those documents when people are signing them and, you know, fill in the blank here, and it's so natural for us to just put our own name into a blank spot.
Just for a little bit of history, this is pretty much what the previous town manager did, so I would say you're right on target for a normal transaction, and then we would vote and sign off on it.
Okay,
Actually, I don't remember voting on it, to tell you the truth. We would just
Yeah.
sign off on it.
yeah, I said I'll plan to do a vote. It's one of the ones where I plan to kind of go back into the documents and update them. For one example, like the old documents specifically recommend a RESPA, which doesn't exist anymore. It was a HUD document. It's been replaced with ALTAs or CDs. But we got those to confirm the purchase price. So they're ultimately the same thing. And the goal is, you know, this has been a learning process for staff and town attorneys, since one of these hasn't been done for over 2.5 years. I believe Renata may have convened it once when she was here. Don, you might remember that better than me.
Yes.
Yep.
Actually, I'm not sure it actually convened. If it
Okay.
did, that was the very last meeting.
Gotcha. Yep.
It's been a while.
And it's an item, there are some other potential charges too, to this agency when you look at, you know, they're mainly to do with, you know, when the town is involved in an affordable housing development. That this agency actually does have some charge in our town ordinances that created the agency that list out a specific charge. I can send that to people on the agency, but as I continue work with the town attorney, the goal will be we need to, from our end, make this process very clear for transfers, and also so people aren't scared of going through the process. Very clearly defined. That's my plan going forward. Again, I think some of these are starting to sell, is that a lot of the people who actually originally purchased these when they were first done in 1999, again, this is the original owner of this property. And it is actually transferring to a extended family member. So, you know, that's good that they're able to provide that opportunity. And, you know, we don't want people saying, oh, I don't want to go to the agency, or I don't even, you know, I don't want to have to submit all this documentation because it's a pain, and then us having to track it all down. So I want to create a process that is as streamlined as possible.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Goal,
Streamline
right?
is good. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of that. If you are good that 1, 2, and 3 are satisfied, we do have the public participation. Again, do you like to move to that, Mr. Actually, under this one, since you started off as chair, Don, I'll have you still as acting chair for this meeting.
Okay, hold on. I'll get the agenda up again.
Yep, it's just public participation, and I do not believe
Do we have it?
anyone.
Any
Okay,
public,
There are
anybody
actually-
from the public wishing to speak, please go ahead, either by, can they Zoom it or phone, either one, right?
Yeah, so I actually have 2 people on Zoom. If you would like to speak, raise your hand in the Zoom application, and I can promote you to a panelist or allow you to speak and address the commission. So the two members of the attendees, Hilda or Manu, if you would like to provide any comment, you can please raise your hand. Nope, I'm not seeing any hands raised, and we're down to one attendee. So from there, I would say that there's no public comment at this point.
Okay,
All right. And that actual public participation is I think it was actually updated in 2023 or one, actually maybe one. That now all town committees have that on their, our town agencies committees have that as part of their agendas. So what I'll do from here, the next one would be the action on the new business. I will bring up after speaking with the town attorney. So. Correct. So in discussion with the town attorney, he has recommended the following conditions. Again, staff does recommend approval of the notice. Again, they look like they're very long, but I'll kind of go through them. There's a lot of words there, but you know, it's more along the lines of there's a lot of repetition. So the first item is items that are submitted, updated documents that are requested. Again, as noted, so 1A is the corrected notice of property transfer to be reviewed by the town planner and town attorney, correcting the personally appeared line on the notary certification. The second is the proposed deed shall be updated to be specifically subject to the following declaration of restrictions and protective covenants, including resale affordability criteria dated September 29th, 1998, and recorded in volume 1232, page 226. So this is an item that was on the last deed and in the Schedule A. It's not on the current proposed deed, but we're recommending, the town attorney has suggested or asked for it to be included. Again, if it's included on two places, it's not necessarily a problem. It's just, you know, making sure that anyone who is looking to purchase the property and does a title search accurately finds that these affordability criteria, which we have had some questions in the past. Those are the two updated documents. So prior to the signature of notice of transfer by the chairperson or authorized agency officer, the seller shall submit final signed closing disclosures, buyer and seller, and or completed Alta statement for town planner and town attorney review. Again, this is, yes. Oh, okay, I think you might just pick up something.
Yeah, my thing just went off, sorry.
Yeah. No problem. So again, this is just that final confirmation that nothing changed in the purchase price, since they are so close within $950 to the sale price, that it's treated as a simple transaction, and that, you know, if someone includes, if the buyer takes care of a lot more, the seller's responsibilities and agrees to do so, which I know they have a little discussion in taxes, they'll figure out those numbers at the end, but it won't exceed that sales price. B, the seller shall submit the final signed deed to the town planner for review with the town attorney. This is just, again, that the addition of that specific notice for the declaration. And C, a second buyer's affidavit confirming that the buyer's income complies with the restrictions will be executed at the time of closing and submitted for town planner and town attorney review. Again, this is something that Attorney Griffith has requested. So these are, you know, his recommendations and my recommendations in consultation with him for the notice of transfer. Are there any questions?
no,
No. Do you need a motion?
Yes, I think at this point, the chair would call for a motion to approve with conditions.
Dan, do you want to make the
Yeah,
motion?
I make a motion that we vote to approve with conditions the items listed in the January 22nd, 25 draft that was provided to the meeting.
Yep, and that is on the screen. So I have a motion.
I'll
Motion
second
made,
it. Second,
second by Woods. Okay, so the motion to approve with
Yeah.
condition.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep, and that's 3 ayes, no one else in the room, so the motion passes. And the notice of transfer is approved. So that will be, again, subject to these conditions, but I'll be reaching out to Member Nafis as soon as we can kind of arrange a time that they go through and get all their final documents. I know that they are at least planned or scheduled to close on Monday to at least execute those documents. So I'd expect something earlier on next week if that works for you, and
Yep.
I will coordinate a time.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
So I either have to do a motion to adjourn or I have to leave. You tell me.
I would,
A motion to adjourn, I think you would call for that at this point, since we're
Yep.
good with action on new business.
Okay, so be it.
So
Motion
moved.
to adjourn.
so
So
move,
moved.
second.
All in favor? Yes, I gotta go. Bye.
Bye, have
Take
fun.
care.
Bye.
Thank
See
you
ya.
all very much.
Okay, bye.
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 Good night.
Good night.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll wait for your call.
Sounds wonderful, and I appreciate it very much.
All righty. Thank you. Thanks, Geraldine. I'll see you at water aerobics.